can. The format of the meeting is a 10-minute speaker, our secretary's announcements, a coffee and snack break, and our main speaker. Our first speaker tonight is Tiffany, right? Yeah. Okay, Tiffany, come on up. They did not write that in there, so there.
Do I have a timer? Oh, how cool. Hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm an alcoholic. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I am so incredibly grateful to be here. I want to thank Keith for asking me to speak and allowing me the opportunity to participate in my recovery. Because I need to do things like this in order to stay sober. That's something that I've learned throughout the years. I have a sobriety date. That's August 22nd, 2022. I have a sponsor. Her name is Alex W. I have a home group. It's the Manhattan Beach Women's Drive-Thru Meeting. I forgot where it was. Manhattan Beach Community Church at 6:30 p.m. on Monday nights. And I was told when I first got sober that there were a couple things that I needed to do in order to stay in the middle of Alcoholics Anonymous. And that was find a home group, get a commitment, and of course, get a sponsor, and then remain tethered to Alcoholics Anonymous. Because when I'm not tethered, I'm someone who's extremely impulsive, who's self-centered, who's self-seeking, and who's extremely defiant. And I don't like to be told what to do. But when I came in here, I had the gift of desperation, and I was willing to take those suggestions, and I've remained willing since. And I believe that's why I've been able to remain 10 toes down and to stay sober thus far. And, August 22nd, 2022 is not my first sobriety date, but God willing, I hope it's my last. I came up here without a plan. And I typically do that because I ask God to speak through me. God is my form, my higher power. It doesn't have to be yours, but my goal here tonight, my pride and my ego tells me, I need to come up here and share, a message that's, full of so much depth and weight, and, I just want to wow the room, right? But what really, the truth is, I'm just another bozo on the bus. I'm talking to a room full of alcoholics who, quite frankly, have gone through the depths, too, and who knows what it's like to be stuck, right? Stuck in your misery, stuck in self-centered fear, stuck in your own way. And that's what it was for me when I came into these rooms, right? I had no idea how to get out of my own way. And I learned, it took me a while, but I learned that I'm the creator of my chaos. I'm the common denominator in every single one of my problems today, right? And it's crazy to look at because I don't want to look at that stuff, and I don't want to admit that that's true, nor do I want to come to a place of acceptance, right, in order to work past that. But once I can have a full understanding of the problem is me, right, I can work towards solution and towards this path of freedom that we talk about here in Alcoholics Anonymous. And I was raised in Alcoholics Anonymous by a really great sponsor, and my sponsor has been my sponsor from the beginning, and the way that I was sponsored is the way that I sponsor women today, and it's line by line through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, right? Our Big Book tells us, I love literature and I love language, precisely. It says precisely how to get sober and stay sober in our literature. And we follow the Big Book, and we don't skirt from the Big Book because the Big Book is where the magic happens, right? The rooms is where the magic happens. And just a little bit about me. I'm a vodka drinker. I'm an everyday drinker. Yeah. I love to get loaded. I'm not picky. Let me just say that, I'm not picky. Does it alter me? Yes, let's go. And for me, it's I came in here not knowing how to stop drinking, because it started with alcohol and ended with alcohol. And the thing is, alcohol is not really my problem. I already mentioned my problem is me, but my problem is centered in my thinking, and it's centered in my mind. And I have an issue with what's going on between my ears, right? And I don't know how to discern true from false. My perception is distorted. as an alcoholic. And I didn't understand that, to be really honest with you guys, like the first probably year of my sobriety, but I was taught to move my feet and that my mind would follow, and that this is a program of action. And it's like my first admission of humility, right, is step one. I'm powerless over alcohol. My life has become unmanageable. At first, that means I can't stop drinking. But what that really means with a little bit of time is that I'm powerless over people, places, and things. And when I try to arrange the show, I blow everything up. I really do blow everything up. And here's the thing. I didn't think that you can do that sober. You can. You can come into these rooms. I've done it. Year 2, shit show. You can come into you can come into these rooms, right? And you can stay sober, but you can still stay really internally sick inside. And this freedom, this happiness, thank you so much. This freedom, this happiness, like it's not attainable. And like, how do I achieve that, right? And like, we hear all the time, like these big words like humility and gratitude and principles to follow. Character building. I didn't give a shit about character building. No, excuse my French. I didn't care about that. I didn't know what character was, right? And slowly but surely, as I'm moving my feet and I'm taking suggestion, I start to build character, and that's what our principles are all about, right? Step 1, self-honesty. 2, willingness. And then we go on to surrender, responsibility, accountability, all of those things. And I didn't think that those principles could ever be a part of me. Like a feral alcoholic chick like me, absolutely not, you know? And I stand before you guys today, like really confident and proud of who I am. That was not something that I felt when I came into these rooms. Not at all. And, you know, I have, 5 minutes? 5 minutes, okay. 3 minutes, okay. So many things that I want to say in 10 minutes, but I'm going to share a little story with you guys. I got a phone call from a girlfriend the other day in the program. She was telling me, I'm doing this, and I'm sponsoring, and I'm of service, and why don't I feel free? And it got me thinking, and I was like, where does the freedom really come from? Step 12, working with others. Because when I'm able to get out of my own way and focus on someone else, I'm free from the bondage of self. And I'm putting my time, my effort, and my energy into helping someone that feels a little bit more shitty than I do. And what does that do? It's a twofer, right? It's like I help other people, and I get a sense of joy, belonging, usefulness, and they can stay sober another day by the grace of God, hopefully. And I was thinking about it, and it's like I don't feel free every day. I don't. You know, I'm human. I have feelings. I have big feelings, but I don't have to be led by them. And being of service is supposed to be inconvenient. If it's not inconvenient, it's not service. And the other day, I got home from a meeting. I got a text. It was from one of my girls that I work with, and it was an acceptance letter that her son got into a private school, like a kindergarten. And you guys, like, it's so simple, but I cried. I cried because that's the freedom. That's the freedom of walking side by side, shoulder to shoulder with somebody, you know, through recovery. And I've had the opportunity to see this woman grow, to show up as a sober mom. And like, that's the joy. That's the gratitude. Like, by the grace of God, like I'm here today to share my experience, strength, and hope with you, but I too can carry that message, and that's what this program is truly all about, right? Like I said, I'm just another bozo on the bus, and you know, the more time that I accumulate, the less that I know. Thank God for that, because the second I start to think that I know something, I'm not, it's not it. I'm trying not to cuss up here. It's really hard. We're at a church, you know. But I know my time is up. We do have a lot of newcomers here, and I just want to tell you guys, you know, just stay. Just stay despite how you feel. Be willing to take suggestion. Remain open-minded and teachable. That's what's helped me, remaining teachable. And sometimes I don't think I'm too teachable these days, but, you know, it's progress, not perfection. And I have a beautiful life today in direct result of Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm alive today in direct result of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I'm just so grateful for God and for the abundance that's been blessed upon me. So thank you.
Knock that. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Now, our main speaker will share his experience, strength, and hope with us. Please join me in welcoming Robert from the Coachella Valley.
Thank you. Well, that was it. That's all I get for driving all the way. That's good. We don't need that. Hey, the crowd there. All right. Hey, how's everybody doing over there? Okay, enough of that shtick. Robert Wilson, alcoholic. Okay, that's good. I want to thank Keith for, we're getting a reverb. Am I doing okay? I want to thank Keith for asking me to speak. My friend Sydney from the LA Hollywood meetings, the comedy store and stuff, and she goes, get Robert Wilson, he's like right. I said, okay, well, thank you. Thank you for that. February 28th, 1990 is my sobriety date. Richie Annenberg is my sponsor. He's got 57 years of sobriety. And as I say, I have 36 years. And I'm hearing a reverb, but do we need to turn this down or something? Because I do legal, but I do, entertainment junk too and stuff. But anyway, okay. And I'll adjust my voice. You think about a lot of different things. First of all, I'll say like Robert Wilson. My dad's name was Bill Wilson, and my mom's name was Lois Wilson. So I say I'm a prime candidate for this program. Welcome newcomers. Can I see the hands of people in their first 0 to 29 days? And you put your, hey, look at that. Right? And can I see the hands of the people in their last 29 days? Hey, Vegas in the house. And so we'll talk to you afterwards and make, don't do it. Don't go out. It's like, it's not worth it and stuff. And when you speak, it's generally what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. I'm not the type of speaker who does 40 minutes of what it was like and it's this and then 5 minutes. And then I came today, then I got a story. Thank you so much. No, that's not what it's supposed to be. See if you can identify with me. Everything I'm talking about is my experience of working Alcoholics Anonymous in my life. There's a big book right here that has the first 164 pages in it that tells our story of how to get sober. There's great parts of, I'm just going to say, I'm still hearing the reverb, but maybe it's these. Oh, you get old, you have to get hearing aids. Hey, that's so much better. No, I'm okay. That's good. But, 72 3/4, what in the heck, But my acting streak's kind of like, 58, maybe 60 or something like that. But welcome, newcomers. I got sober when I was 36 years. There's a guy that Mickey B talks about, Mickey Bush. Put a tray in front of you, then put all those different drugs on the tray. What is your drug of choice? Alcohol was my drug of choice on there. And put nicotine on there. I'm like 33 years smober. I love that word, no nicotine in here. If you want that gift, you'll get it. Your higher power will present it to you and you'll grab onto it. It's my experience. So I love drinking. I love driving around drunk. Only one problem, society's set up against doing that. They don't want you to be doing that type of thing. Drunk and smoking. I don't know why I thought reefer, because I never used a smoking reefer, And then I was like, and the name of the group, Sanctuary. This is for like old farts like me. Like there's Charles Lawton, old guy. He played Hunchback of Notre Dame. Sanctuary. So I always think of that when I hear Sanctuary. But as you can tell, this guy likes to be happy in sobriety, not sad and depressed and And our Rule 62 here is don't take ourselves so seriously. Go toward the light on a daily basis. So this alcoholic would drink and drive around drunk. I remember high school, football, hanging out with the football people because, a good wide receiver as a freshman, but I didn't want to cut my hair because the girls all like long hair, so like the Coach Fox, butch haircuts, but I always hung out with the football players, and we'd go to what's called Pizza Shack, is not the same, but I don't know why they'd give us pitchers of beer and drink Pepsi and beer and pizza and just be crazy. I'm the type of alcoholic when, before that would happen, I'd drink like a whole bunch before it even started. And then they'd come pick me up, and Rob's like all jacked up. Rob, you're like drunk. So, yeah, so what? What do you care? Yeah, let me live my life. So they're saying loving to drive around drunk places in a 2-ton weapon. I heard a story about that tonight, and people die from that. I'm lucky 'cause I kind of gray outs, never blackouts. Yet, we always say yet in here, and I'd be on the freeway and on a traverse on a cement thing, just kind of, barrier, boom, like that, and going. A lot of things like that happening. So what this alcoholic would do is just drink more. I was the type of alcoholic, let me drink all this stuff and eat food and then throw up the food so I can drink more alcohol and get more messed up. And I'm sure no one can relate to anything like activity like that. Look at that guy, dude. All right. And so drinking in high school, then getting into, I was from the Hollywood, the Sunset Strip, Nikki Blair, going to the bars, drinking, getting crazy in the 70s, and just still managing it, driving around drunk and managing it, and going to the different clubs and dancing, and then going to those after parties up in the Hollywood Hills, and doing what were the orgies going on and stuff like that, and to be young again, because that stuff's not happening. And having this history of drinking and being crazy, and on that tray, there's cocaine, heroin, crystal meth, all these pills and stuff in there. I never shot up yet, anything like that, or crystal meth. Being meetings in Hollywood and West Hollywood, there's CMA Crystal Meth Anonymous, and you'd hear the wild stories. This one girl, Sherry, she'd talk about how she was sober, then went out and she filmed herself, videoed herself, and we talk about replay that tape in your mind of your last drunk. Well, she actually taped herself tweaking, and she's going to give herself just a little haircut, and it was splashy all over, and she gets to put that in whenever the chattering monkeys start saying, hey, well, it might be a good idea to have a little alcohol, a little rehabilitative, a crystal meth or something like that. And I remember that story. She would give that, and I would relate to how I have to take this disease very seriously. You hear in here, it's like a gorilla doing push-ups, just waiting. I call the chattering monkeys, just waiting to try to talk me into doing that. So segue back to alcohol, drinking. I did that cocaine, but I didn't like that high because I couldn't control that high. And peyote milkshakes and acid parties and some of this wild, fun, crazy, going up in Hollywood Hills, Earl Flynn Estate, and then and then falling in the ivy, and then an hour later hearing my brother, hey Rob, where are you? And you're just laying in the ivy, look at the stars. Oh, it's so nice. We thought you were what happened. And that was going on. Then I was doing legal stuff. I'd go on the road, do jury probes, talk to jurors in cases, and then come back, try to manage. Because if you get drunk and you're working out there, then no more money's going to come in. then come back to Hollywood and do all the Sunset Strip, all the crazy clubs, and the craziness. And I was driving around drunk, 2 o'clock in the morning after the clubs on a Saturday night, driving through Studio City, Ventura Boulevard, looking for hookers. Hey, let's go find some hookers and stuff. And I'm by myself, and I pull up to a red light. I'm just sitting there. Next thing I hear, it's like, there's like a cop outside my window. Like, what are you doing, boy? I'm like, well, I'm waiting for the red light. He goes, we've been watching. You've been here for 3 red lights and stuff. Thank God I fell asleep with my foot on the brake and didn't go into that intersection and kill anybody. There was a guy in this program that had double-digit sobriety, and the wife was talking kind of to him like too much, or I don't know. And then the job, and just like little things. And the chattering monkeys told him, just have one drink. It'll take the edge off. Just have that one drink, and it'll take the edge off. He didn't want to listen to that. No. Then pretty soon, like a couple of weeks later, okay, I'll have one drink. It'll take the edge off. And he had that one drink, and that led to managing, a couple of weeks of managing, and then he was right back into everything. Driving around drunk, and he went through a red light and killed a family of 4. And guy's in jail for pretty much the rest of his life. And then when asked, like, what was your plan? I said, well, my plan was just to have one drink to take the edge off. And that goes back to how I hold this program so close and dear that I hear these stories in AA. Well, I thought it was going to be, I was going to be right back. I'm going to come right back. It'll be no problem. And here those people die. They don't get back. It's like 20 years or 10 years later. And so what this alcoholic gets to do is know that this is deadly serious here, but we get to have great fun. I have all kinds of wonderful fun right now in Alcoholics Anonymous. The alcoholic thinking from driving around drunk and crazy is, but I've had 3 DUIs. Are there anybody else in the DUI club? Hey, thank you guys. Hey, there we go. And so, what are DUIs now? They're like about 40 grand, 50 grand with attorneys and all those costs of that and rehab. And so, don't do that. It's okay. And you don't have to. I'm here to say you don't have to do that. I love it as a joke Argus Hamilton does, Argus H. He said I could use his last name. Comedy Store, just celebrated 50 years sobriety. Comedy Store main room guy. Talking about how, and this is the alcoholic thinking. So there's an alcoholic and a person who's not an alcoholic. They both go into a bar on Friday night on Sepulveda Boulevard. They get drunk, they come out in their respective cars and they drive off. They both get pulled over, both get thrown into jail, and they come before the judge on Monday morning. Been in the drunk tank. I remember those drunk tanks. Ooh, that was not like some guys playing some weird game of checkers, but would steal all my cigarettes. Hey, okay, yeah, you won. Okay, and they come before the judge, and the judge asks the person who's not an alcoholic, "Do you know what you did?" He goes, "Yes, Your Honor, I shouldn't have driven drunk." So he gave him his fine, and then fine, but now you probably jail time and try to get some resolution out of it, and ask the alcoholic. And this is the thinking. This is this alcoholic thinking of his joke. And he said, do you know what you did wrong? The alcoholic goes, well, Your Honor, I shouldn't have taken Sepulveda. An old joke, a great joke, but shows to me the alcoholic thinking of everybody else. It's everybody else. It's not Rob. That thing about pointing the finger this way. Oh, wait, there's 3 fingers pointing at me. Huh? So this alcoholic gets to take this program very seriously in my life and have fun at the same time. I always like to run through the steps when I speak in the way that I know about them. And I did them out of the big book, and I was kind of like, I don't know, this Mr. Jones, and it's kind of confusing. But I love the Joe and Charlie big book on tape, or what, digital or chip now or whatever, but they have a formula they talk about in that. I was like, oh, that's so good. And I could relate to that. And the first meeting I ever went to, my last night of drinking was the at home in the Hollywood Hills. I'm drunk. I'm watching the Grammys. I didn't know about AA. All I knew about AA was like this precursor to rehabs. Charter house, the guy's in a bathrobe and he's like walking like this. And I'm drinking like, oh, that poor guy, he's pretty messed up. And so I'm there watching the Grammys, calling 976 girly numbers, all nude and jacking off all night long and stuff. And like, again, no one can relate to that type of activity in here if you're the type of alcoholic I am. And my brothers, Dave Wilson, who's in PG now, and my other brother, Dennis Wilson, big famous attorney, they hopped the wall on my back fence. The doors of my house were wide open. Anybody could come in and killed me. And they said, Rob. And it's just, one more time that incomprehensible demoralization of, I'm just like, oh. So I picked up that phone. I didn't know about really Alcoholics Anonymous. My girlfriend before would put the big book there and we talk about, it was a good coaster type of thing, and maybe I'll get the program through osmosis or something like that. And so I was just like, I call it the hamster wheel. 3 days drunk, 3 days sober up. Chattering monkeys, hey, you did 3 days, let's go again. Over and over and over and over and over and over. How do I get off? I can't. And I don't want to, but. And so like the brothers there that each came to me and said, hey, Rob, can you take me to meetings? My brother Dave, like, oh, Rob, the crack dealer pistol whipped me for the last time. Can you take me to meetings? And I'm like in every group, PG and all these different things. So I knew he loved baseball. So I took him to PG. And he got in there, and he's 29 years sober. Dave Wilson, he does all kinds of stuff. I kind of like the new Clancy over there and stuff. And we laugh, and he met his wife in there. And my other brother, Dennis Wilson, sober like 25 years. And they used to go like, my dad had that deep voice like this, Rob's a guru. He's a guru. No, I just, people told me they came to me, so I took them to meetings and helped them out. And, they would, I'm going to meetings, I'd come, they'd be around smoking dope in a circle, and I'd come up, they go, here comes Moral Roberts coming on up here and stuff. It's like, but I set an example, and they came and asked me, and they're sober. Everybody's sober in my family. Or Knights of Columbus. No, okay, one. They do a lot of drinking and crazy stuff in Knights of Columbus. But that brother Michael knows that, hey, watch out. Being like Irish descent, and this alcohol will kill you. So I called Alcoholics Anonymous, the hotline, on that Thursday day, and said, hey, I want to go to the meetings. And they said, okay, here's a meeting in Eagle Rock Thursday night. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm a special alcoholic. I need like a special meeting. Said, okay, Friday night, Rodeo, Beverly Hills. Boom. 600-700 people, entertainment people, music people, great speakers. Like Father Leo would speak there, and he was telling me he just had him. And circuit speakers where I heard the message of AA. I came in my three-piece suit, heavier than I am now. I'm sweating, and people are giving me their cards, and like, what are they doing? I don't know. And there's a guy, Lenny the Lion, black jazz musician, used to play the Dizzy Gillespie. And he'd talk, I gotta say, Wilson! And I'd come in, Wilson! In front of her, did you get a sponsor yet? Wilson! Like, no, Lenny, Jesus, don't call me out on this. Like, Wilson, one hand washes the other. Men stick with the men, women stick with the women. Wilson, get a sponsor. Yes, Lenny, okay. Characters in that meeting. I got a sponsor and started working these steps in my life. I was talking about I love that Joe and Charlie made it simpler for me to do that. And part of this was, this step one, your life's unmanageable. You're crazy! I'm crazy. My life's unmanageable, and I'm crazy. Geez, I don't know about that. And step two, you're still crazy. Your life's still unmanageable. Now, for this to work for you, you have to find a higher power. There's great books like Came to Believe, Pass It On, AA, Comes of Age, and I call it like Dr. Bob and the good old boys, but Dr. Bob and the old timers, that gives the history of Alcoholics Anonymous, where it came from, how Bill Wilson was going to this Oxford group, and they only had 6 tenants. And Bill Wilson, being the stockbroker and knowing how alcoholics like loopholes, he expanded them to 10, so it's even a lot harder to have loopholes in the steps. The way that history talks about it, he hadn't had a lot of knowledge and everything, Bill Wilson, but he went to sleep for 45 minutes, woke up, and then wrote out chapter 5. Like that. And it's cool, you can go online and get the original copy of chapter 5, and Bill Wilson, you have to do this, you must do this, and then Dr. Bob, kind of the co-helper, founder, told him, well, alcoholics, they don't like to be told what to do. Why don't you try? Well, suggest. Like that, and that it amended into that. Bill Wilson's English teacher in college told him that don't say the same word over and over, because it's very boring to the reader, and you want to be able to, get your message across if you're doing it. So I'm crazy, step one, and my life's out of control. Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Step 2, I'm crazy. I'm still crazy. I'm insane, but now I have to turn that over to power greater than Rob. Well, no. What? There's no power greater than Rob. Rob's the director of the show, and the book talks about this. I'm the director of the show, and, only problem with that, if everybody would do everything that I want them to do, life would be great and wonderful, and I wouldn't have to worry about anything. But that's never going to happen. So that builds resentments, and are they doing this guy? And that, just came to believe that a power greater than Rob can take you out of this insanity. The hamster wheel, over and over, drunk, sober, drunk, I don't like drunk, sober. And from that very first meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous I went to on that Friday night of February 28th, 1990, I heard the message of Alcoholics Anonymous, which was a message of hope. Wow, how powerful is that? Is everybody, all those like 600, 700 people, and they say, are there any other alcoholics present? Like everybody raised their hand in that room, and you hear speakers talk about, I felt at one with, I felt in the community, I felt like I was there. And I had that feeling of that's what I am, an alcoholic. This whole room of alcoholics, the pretty people. They're like the pretty people that are here tonight. The pretty people, and they're all saying. And that started my journey. I was talking about getting a sponsor and then doing these steps. Step 1, step 2, and the step 3, made a decision. Step 2, okay, I'm not God, maybe, I don't know. Step 3, made a decision to turn my will and my life over to power greater than Rob. Hey, no, okay, well, how do you like how it's been going so far? I'm here, I don't like it that much. And so, the old timers say, okay, there's 3 birds on the line, and 2 birds decided to fly away. How many birds are left on the line? I'm like, oh, Jesus, Lenny, is this like is there a block of ice involved, and is there a rope, and it melts, and I have to figure this out? I go, there's 1. He goes, no, Rob. All 3 birds are still there because 2 birds only decided to fly away. They didn't take the action, which for me is impressed upon me. Steps 4 through 9 are these action steps. And going back to the way Bill Wilson was taught, his English professor, she told him words mean exactly the way they are and how they're put down. And he put down turn over to your will. So they put will first there. Okay, my will. I can turn my will over, my life. Okay. And step 4 is people say, oh, that's such a scary step. Step 4. Step 3 was a scary step for me because I'm still in charge of everything. But no, I have, they talk, we'll gladly refund your misery. You can go on back there. Guy Earl Hightower talks about when someone goes out and they come back into the fort, the AA fort, and there's arrows all over their back, and they got jacked up, and we ask them, how was it out there? That was not good and stuff. So for me, it impressed me, we get to hear these stories. Step 4, made a searching and furious moral inventory. Look up moral, just means truthful. Just be truthful about your life. The Joe and Charlie has that format of the 4 columns, which is in the big book as well. And as I say, I was kind of, Mr. Joe, I don't know. But they have the 4 columns, and the 4th column is what's been going on in my life. I call it the axis of the 4 evildoers. This selfish self-centeredness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. That'll run my life on a daily basis. And still will try to run my life on a daily basis. I have to watch out for the axis of the 4 evildoers, watch out for that. And it has columns of who you harmed and what was your part in this. And that 4th column will be these different things that the axis of those 4 evildoers. Selfish self-centeredness, but the me, I, Rob, I, me, I, Rob. No, that's not good. Don't do that. And just be truthful and put this down on paper. And the book talks about get everything down. Just it's like Joe and Carly, they talk about, it's like doing in the Old West, in an old western town, and wood rickety boards, you're walking down, there's the general store, and they're cleaning house in the general store. They're cleaning the shelves. And just as resentments or things to write down, fear, can of peas, can of corn, can of peas, can of corn. And the way they explain it is just put the stuff down. Don't go into all the drama. Oh, it's a can of peas! That can of corn, she did that. Put it down. And it was wonderful that they're showing the analogy of just, get it out. And just because there was something was taken off of there, something doesn't have to go back up there. That's okay. You don't have to put something back up there. So you're putting this down on a list, then being truthful, and step 5 is about telling that to another human being. Like in that step 4 about putting it down, even Albert Einstein knew the power of taking the pen, the brain, arms, pen, writing, the power of that. I'm doing my 4 step on the computer, I'm dictating it, and my experience is it's better just to write it out. It's old school, it's simple, and it worked before coming here for everybody, and it still works today. So put that down. So now I'm hearing a 5th step. And you're hearing all this different stuff from a person who you think really wants this program. Because if you're there doing a fifth step, you made the decision to turn your will in your life. You're deciding you're not God. That's this. Oh, maybe I might be God. Well, there's page 49 or 45 in the big book says, well, if you think you're God, like throw this book away because you'll never get this program. So I'm thinking like, okay, well, I've got to be very serious. So you're hearing a fifth step, and they're telling you all this interesting stuff, because I don't remember a lot of, and I even, Clancy would talk about, who am I to tell someone no, that I'm not going to sponsor you? I sponsored women, I sponsored guys, and if I tell someone no, they may go die. And I heard that from him. And then you don't remember like the wild and crazy sexual stuff. You don't remember that stuff. It's just they're being honest about it, and they're very serious. And then you get to the end. Okay, is that it? Yeah, that's everything. But is that everything? Because you've heard it and you go, there's probably something there, maybe. Not like judging, like I know this guy and he's got a bunch of crap going on. No, it's. And then I'll tell like. It's about, my experience is about putting down your deepest, darkest secrets down there in that. Something you're not going to tell to anybody else. Something you're going to take to your grave with you. There's a lot of people that don't tell that secret and they take it to their grave with them. So they go back out just because they couldn't. Chattering monkeys, well, you never told that, so yeah, you don't have to worry about it. And then I'll tell one of mine. Deepest, darkest secret. Not that I have 20 or 40 of them or anything, but I'll tell one of mine, like deep, like, you're so ashamed of what? And they'll go, well, no, there was this one. There was this one thing. And then you hear that, and they think the life's going to be over. They think you're going to walk out and, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm getting out of this. No. My experience, and if the sponsor you have does that, get rid of that person, get like another sponsor, because that's not someone working the program, my experience. And when you hear this fifth step, someone just bearing their soul, they're bearing their soul because they don't want to keep doing this, the hamster wheel over and over. No. And then the book talks about go home and reflect for an hour. Hey, was I honest? Did I put everything in there? And in the modern, I gotta go pick up on the phone, I gotta go do this. No, we're doing this thing here in a quiet site, in a house or my house or the park or something. And then, do you have time to go home? Yes. Well, we won't do it today if you don't have time to go home for an hour and reflect. Were you totally honest? Did you put everything in there? And the book talks about, okay, you're on step 8 now. Wow, wait, what happened to 6 and 7? It talks about if you were totally honest. And the way Bill wrote that back to his English professor, she said, okay, character defects, shortcomings, very close. But the way I was taught is character defects is when I'm practicing on other people, and shortcomings or when I'm practicing on myself. Oh, Rob, chattering, you'll never get this, that's not it. Those negatives, I don't listen to those negatives. I've learned not to listen to those negatives. This character defects, I'm trying to remember, I heard this quote the other day about character is what shows up in adversity in your life. I said, wow. Character is what shows up in adversity, adverse times. Who are you going to be? What man, what woman are you going to be coming to the situation with this maybe insurmountable thing going on, or maybe this real wonderful thing going on? Kind of like Bobby Earl would talk about. I'm on the beach. My beautiful Malibu house is there. I'm running with my golden retriever. My beautiful blonde wife's up on the balcony, and I'm running. And all of a sudden, hey, what a great time for a drink. Thank you. A lot of stuff. Again, we have to watch out there when the times are real good. Everything's good. What is that? Everything's going Rob's way. That's good. And then, everything's like kind of sucks in Rob's life. And character defects. It says, like, don't do them. Oh, wait a minute. Don't do them. What is, yeah, exactly. If something makes you feel bad, don't do it anymore. Oh no, I gotta hold on to it because just don't. Oh, it's that easy. Just I don't. Oh, yeah, it's that easy. The shortcomings. Don't beat yourself up. You're here and you don't have to stay. They told me put a stake in that date, February 28th, 1990. I put a stake in that date, and I never have to go back out. As much as the chattering, they call them the committee members, but I call them the chattering monkeys. They're trying to work on different things. And so now I'm on step 8. Just become willing to make a list. Well, that's just willing. You have to be willing to make a list. That's pretty easy. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Uh-oh, wait a minute. What's step 9? Made amends whenever possible so you don't hurt other people as well. And I love Joe and Charlie to say, well, break it into 3 categories, A, B, and C. A, these are easy amends, nothing really going to happen. B, these are pretty tough. And C, I'm never going to fuck them amend those people and fuck them and me. It's like, okay. So then you start making the amends in A. The easy one, you start feeling kind of good. Okay, I'm making amends in there. And then what always happens, my experience, is boom, someone in category C comes around a corner or right there. And now I have to make a decision to, what do they call it, face everything and recover, or frick everything and take off. Not swearing for you guys. Okay. Frick everything and take off. I don't have to do that. My experience is face it, make these amends. And some amends are a letter that you read at a gravesite. Just make amends. I hear great funny stories about people when they make amends and oh yeah, I was drinking, I embezzled all your money, I was drinking. We knew that, Joe. We knew what was going on there, but I'm glad you're sober now. Now you can pay me back everything every month. And that happens. Don't let amends break into a fist fight. That's not a good amends. And Jenica B., she would talk about how if you're making amends, okay, I'm sorry, but okay, earmuffs. No. If you're making amends to your old boyfriend, don't let it end up in a blowjob. That's not a good amends to do and stuff. What? And yeah, and she's sober a long time, great actress, and the girls would like, okay, yeah, but he's so powerful. No, just make amends. Make sure your side of the street is clean. Make sure your side of the street, and you'll feel good about that. The 10th step is this, do it on a daily basis, or even on I do it moment by moment basis, of where I messed up during the day, and at night if you're like, oh, I can't say anything like that, and okay, and if you're a liar, here's a good trick to do. Oh, I'm going to lie and make myself pretty wonderful in front of this person lying, you do that, and then you feel like bad, man. And so then, this is a good lesson. If you're talking to somebody, they're right there, and you're lying to them. Oh, this is a story making Rob wonderful. Lie, 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 and just stop and say, hey, everything I just told you, I was lying to you. Do that a couple of times, and that really cures that lying aspect of that. And you get to do that 10th step. The 11th step is this sought through prayer and meditation. I did a lot of different studies of meditation, Siddha Buddha yoga, and all this different stuff, and used to thought the world had to be silent for me to meditate, and I'm sitting there in like my apartment then in Studio City, and the trash truck's making noise, and I can't meditate, the trash truck's out there. And then I come to learn, you take everything in, because you can be on top of the mountain in the middle of nowhere and sitting there meditating, that bird's making noise over there, I can't believe that. It's like a focus on a third eye, meditate. I do the serenity prayer, the mantra. In the morning, I hit my knees because it's about humility. and they told me, like, throw your keys under the bed. You're there, get here on your knees, so like say your prayer right then. So I do that, and I remember like meditation, so like 30 seconds, that's a long time, now I can't meditate. You need like 5 minutes, and then you're like, oh, you're meditating so much, you're like 10 minutes, and 20 minutes, thank you, and meditating, and then you kind of find your balance. There's like one guy in this program had like a double, like 18, 19 years sober, and he was like a meditative guru. He meditated and meditated, and he said, I meditated so much that I changed my molecular structure, and now I can drink like a gentleman. That guy went out, and he's gone. Prayer and meditation is, you can do, if you forget in the morning to do it, because I always tell sponsees, first thing, do prayer and meditation. Okay, what'd you do? I checked my line, and I make coffee, and said, dude, how's that the first thing? I don't understand. Because my experience is if I do that the first thing, it sets off a great program, a great day for me. Step 3, something. Step 12 is what I'm doing now, giving back, being of service, helping people. I'm all about going toward the light. The only tattoo I have is on my leg, and Kate Katana, it means big light, because people are calling me big light, because I'm all talking about going toward the light on a daily basis. And if I can, okay, where are my feet? What do you mean, where am I? Oh, right here. Oh, I have to think about now. That's all I have to do is be in the now. What happened yesterday? What's going on tomorrow? Don't worry about that. Are you okay now? Are you in the program? We talk about in the herd of people. So what this alcoholic gets to do is it's like this giant, it's like this giant funnel. And the bottom of that funnel is the dark and the abyss and death. And so if you're hanging around the bottom, you're going to, it's not going to go well for you. The top of the funnel is like the light and like Gandhi and Kennedy's, and but those people all get assassinated, So I try to stay somewhere in the middle of that funnel. And I always like to, sum up by saying God good and drinking bad. Thank you.